LED easy restoration. Golgfags Ogres.
In this video we're going to try and breathe some new life into this pair of Golgfags mercenary ogres to join my Chaos Ogre troop. Okay, I didn't quite see the condition of these when I got them off eBay, so they're not quite two complete models. This arm has been shortened to fit on here, which looks terrible, but it should be a part of this model, so I will be lengthening that out, and I will also be making this arm, which is far too long to fit into this socket, fit on here, and both the left arms are fine. So I'll be making those alterations, getting it all built together, and painting these guys. Okay, first stage is going to be this bannerman. So you want to imagine he's going to stand like this, and we're going to need to rebuild his elbow into that socket. So we're going to start with my favourite tool, slightly grubby, Tamiya handy drill. And we're going to start with a pretty easy pin straight into his shoulder. Okay, so now we are looking at Golgfag himself, and we've got the arm here, bad mould line, I got with my eBay auction. But I also have this Minotaur axe, and it's a very similar age, and the hands, if you can see that, are a very similar style of sculpt, but also size, right down to the fingernails, if you can see that. So I think instead of cutting up this perfectly good part here, I might lay that aside and see what we can do with this Minotaur axe. Okay, there we have it, nice and neat on the end of there. I'm going to go for that kind of angle, which I think will look kind of right and be a kind of interesting pose. So I'm going to back to the Tamiya handy drill, and we are going to drill. Okay, so both these guys have had both their arms pinned on both ends, using the 1mm florist's wire that I get from Hobbycraft, and they're all glued in place and posed how I wanted them. And I'm going to use some green stuff and these two main tools, the metal sculpting tool I've had for an age, don't know where that's from, and this rubbery clay shaper that I use for smoothing details and blending. So I've mixed my green stuff together into a consistent green colour, and I'll start the way I start pretty much any green stuff job, with a green stuff sausage. I'm going to wrap that around the affected area. I'm probably going to have to do 2 layers here, so I'm going to start by just covering the wire and getting the bulk of it where I want it. So nip that bit off, and we'll get the basic shape put in, and then once we've done that, I will come back and I'll add an extra layer of the muscle. So we've got the bulk of the green stuff down, and I'm just going to go in now with the rubber tool. As you can see, it doesn't make as hard a mark as the main one. I'm just going to try and smooth down any tool marks that I've already made, blend the green stuff in. It's not looking too bad. Okay, slight repose here after I'd already started putting a bit of green stuff in. Didn't like how it was looking, but that's the joy of doing things at this stage. We can always pull them apart and redo them. So I'm going to go back in, imagine the shape of his arm, make sure he not becoming Mr. Tickle. Okay, things are definitely starting to look more arm-like and less sausage-like. So now I'm going to start comparing the details. So there is, on the inside arm there, those 2 muscles with a tendon running down the middle. So I'll see if I can replicate that. Something along those lines. And then just with the soft end. There we are, looking at something not totally dissimilar on that side. And now I'll try and replicate a similar level of detail here. I'll start by adding the point where I think this elbow should be. Muscle definition. Just rough it out. It's alright if it's looking a bit sketchy now, because let me take the soft end in. That cures all our problems. Now I think we have something ambiguous enough to paint. I think they're both looking quite good. That one probably pretty much done. I'm going to revisit this after that is fully cured and add a little bit of fur so it looks like it comes all the way around. Okay, the first layers of green stuff is completely dried, and I've gone round this guy and just filled in any gaps around the bottom of his arm, nearly up the edge of his coat there. Left the other side more or less as it is. Did a little smoothing with a knife. Looks worse at the moment, but it'll look better when it's painted, trust me. And then on the standard bearer, done similar. I've done a little tiny bit of green stuff around his arm there, you can barely see. Then on this side, I've started with a sausage of green stuff, folded it around there, and then drawn lines in it the length of the thing, so you can see here. And now I'm going round and very gently halving the length of those lines, trying to keep them in place on the top level and draw new ones on the bottom, and then finishing them off there, because that is, I think, how this has been done. So like one layer there and then just creating the new lines. It's still fairly tricky because of this banner, but I'm going to go carry on around there, just trying to get definition between the lines and the layers. I'm also going to pay careful attention to the line on the inside of here, because I want it to look like this is a certain thickness. So you can kind of see the thickness there. I want it to look like this fur is sort of appearing from the underneath the edge of that and not just growing out of it. So I'll try and keep a constant line around there. Okay, I think that kind of makes sense. So we've got the fur sitting underneath his in there and then disappearing. So try and measure, sort of match this sort of size. So then it sort of disappears up under his thing with a clean line between what is skin and what is going to be fur. And I think that's come out quite nicely. I might actually extend a little bit of this other fur just onto there. Starts off smooth and sort of roughly the shape I want it. And then I'm just going to add in the texture. Okay, so we've got that more or less how I want it. and the green stuff's still quite soft and sticky at this point. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave this to cure for probably only half an hour or so, and I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just go over the bits I've done again, and I think that'll help sort of smooth it out and give it a better finish. Dab of glue around the bases, and a little bit of gravel into the bird stand, and then these guys are ready to paint, which will be in a separate video. Thanks for watching, guys, and as ever, if you like what I did here, please like the video, maybe subscribe if you haven't already, share it with your gaming group. Thanks for watching.